1948, August 29, at 7 o'clock in the morning, the explosion of the first Soviet atomic bomb, RDS-1, suddenly occurred in the Semipalatinsk region. In an instant moment, the peaceful life of ordinary people turned into ashes. According to the latest data, many animals died in this accident. Trailways, residential houses, and buildings turned into ruins.
Yes, I think that the effects of sympathy trials are still going on, since a lot of people complaining about health problems due to the radiation, and unfortunately, a lot of health diseases are inherited due to the genetic mutation. And I know about some places that become unusable for human life, like Kainar City. There was rich for underground resource, but now it becomes unusable, and it has a lot of abandoned buildings and non-functioning railways. So I think we will face with simulating test site consequences for a long time.
From 1948 to 1989, 456 nuclear tests were carried out in the Semipalatinsk region, and the power of the explosions was 2,500 times stronger than the power of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. In Kazakhstan, more than 1.5 million people were affected by the tests. Nuclear explosions have harmed both the population and the nature of the Kazakhstan. Radiation caused by explosions was the reason for various pathological diseases. For example, the number of people with cancer has tripled, and the newly born children have symptoms of genetic mutation and autism. Toxic inert gases, heavy metals, and other radiation substances spread to the surface of the Earth.
There were times we had everything while there was a sea. It was treated and fed, there was work, there was health and mild climate. And the sea was living before my eyes. I often dream about swimming and fishing in the Aral Sea. I rejoice in the sea in my dream. It will not return to us. The Aral Sea has turned into a fairy tale for our children.
Until 1960, the Aral Sea kept the fourth place among the largest lakes, but since then everything has changed dramatically. The tragedy of Aral Sea happened. The main reasons were ignoring the historical and natural features of the area, abundant rice and cotton crops that require a lot of water, inefficient use of agriculture without taking into account water supplies. These cases have become known all over the world as a catastrophic human error. From 1960 to 2009, the area of the Aral Sea decreased a lot, and the water levels decreased too. Tugaya forests died. More than 130 species of animals and 30 species of fish disappeared. Dust storms carried sand from the dried up bottom with the chemical pollutants, and they provoked a multiple increase in respiratory, ocular, oncological, and other diseases in the population of the Aral Sea region.
Modern ecological disaster is the Aral Sea region narrows the sea every year. Its fauna and flora are on the verge of extinction. Fish farming in the Aral Sea was suspended and resumed only in the last 2 years. The amount of toxic salts rising from the seabed is 20 million tons per year. The social status of the population has declined. Since the status of the population has decreased, the need for this place is also small. Since the 1960s, the sea level has decreased by 1 meter. The amount of river water flowing into the island decreased by 5 times, the area of the sea basin by 8 times, and the value of meter by 13 times. The salinity level increased by 25 times and 11 times exceeded the average level of salinity of the world ocean. In 1989, the Aral Sea was divided into Northern Aral and Southern Aral. In 2003, the southern Aral Sea was divided into two more parts, eastern and western.
1948 and 1960 filled with indelible tragedies of the Kazakh people. The consequences of the events in Semipalatinsk and the Aral Sea continue to this day. The state and the population should prevent the consequences of the events. After all, the fate of the earth is the fate of the country.